So I recently came across a story about a woman who was in a long-term relationship for several years with a man that she described as emotionally available, kind, funny, who kept her very satisfied in the bedroom. They also have an amazing friendship. Sounds perfect, right? Well, he asked her to marry him, and she said no. I heard that she went on to say that while she really loves him, she just knew it was never going to work out in the long term because she never felt that elusive spark. She felt like she would be settling. This woman was talking about a man who she feels is her best friend. He's kind, he's funny, he's fully available, he's sexy, they have great sex, and she loves him. He wants a commitment, but something is missing. She feels like she'd be settling. I'm telling you the story today because this is such a good reminder of what settling really is and what it isn't. And I know this is an extreme example, and most of us would say yes to this guy and start your life together. But the reality is that there is a version of this that happens to so many of us all the time. It's the same thing. It just happens a lot sooner, typically on the first date or two. So we meet a guy who, for all intents and purposes, should be our dream guy. But we're not feeling it. We don't feel that chemistry, that spark. So we decline when he tries for date number 3, sometimes even date number 2. And the problem here is this belief in the all-empowering spark. It's the fairy tale that we all believe we need to have. We have to have it in order for a relationship to turn into love. It's time to clarify something here that's completely misunderstood. For this video, I'm going to use the word spark to mean chemistry, butterflies, fireworks, that, oh wow, I can't believe he picked me feeling that we feel with certain guys. You know exactly what I'm talking about. The truth is, the spark does not equal love. The spark does not equal love. In fact, the spark and love are completely unrelated. They are two totally different things. They're like two complete strangers who happen to be at the same party. In fact, in my experience, the greater the spark and the faster the flame of love grows, the quicker it dies out. Or even worse, the quicker it gets out of control and burns everything in sight in true disaster fashion, right? But what if you say, you know, a friend who met her husband and they hit it off with the spark right away and they've been in love for 15 years and she says she still feels the spark? Like I said, it can happen. It's just more of a coincidence. It's not guaranteed to happen. And that's the problem because we believe that they go hand in hand. I might even go as far as to say that it didn't really happen the way that your friend is describing it to, because what your friend thought was a spark was actually just her ability to feel real love faster. Some people just take longer to get to the real love. But if you get to real love in one date or 1 week or 6 months, it doesn't matter because the end result is the same. You're totally in love. Even when people had that fiery spark in the beginning, it fades. If someone tells you that they still have that same feeling after years and years, then what they actually felt in the beginning is deep love, not a spark, and that's different. They were just lucky enough to recognize it right away. Some of us take a little while to recognize it, but that doesn't make it any less wonderful or enduring. It's still amazing love, whether you recognize it when your eyes first meet or if you recognize it after dating for a while. But it's just not just the spark. It's like a fire. If you have a huge pile of wood and you douse it with gasoline, it's going to erupt into a huge burning bonfire almost immediately after you toss a match onto it. But if it's not already doused with gasoline, then it might take a little while to get the kindling going and then get the larger pieces burning until finally it's the same size as that other large bonfire. So either way, the end result is the same, and that's what matters. It just takes time to come to this on our own. It takes time to see that spark for what it is. And more importantly, for what it isn't, which is a guarantee of real love. They do not go hand in hand. So the real question you need to be asking yourself is, are you actually looking for love? Is this really more about the spark that you have been calling love? When you've had enough of everything that you've been settling for in the name of that almighty spark, there is a beautiful life and a beautiful love that's going to be waiting for you. Unless it's only the spark that you've been looking for. So be honest with yourself. Make sure you're clear on this one, because it's the difference between being miserable and happy when the spark eventually loses its scintillating intensity and you realize that you were living on a programmed view of love. Don't be like our friend from the story and walk away from something that you're going to regret down the road just because it started a little differently than you thought it would. Because you know who the majority of the women I coach eventually miss the most? Not the bad boys they lost. No, it is not even close. They miss the good ones they let get away who married someone else. So now let's take a poll. Do you think that feeling that spark right away is necessary for a lasting relationship? Tell us yes or no in the comments below, and I'll see you there.